I'm looking forward to talking about this, Goughie, because midfielders, since you and I grew up as kids, they've changed the role now. It used to be just a centre midfielder, like either a Roy Keane or a Scholesy.
Right midfield, left midfield, centre midfield.
Wingers. Yeah. But now you have your holders, you have your two holders, you have your sort of number 10s. It's all a bit different, isn't it?
Absolutely.
But what I look at when I see the players that certain clubs have got, we were talking about Thomas Souček and Declan Rice, there are some great pairings in the Premier League. Fabinho and Henderson, and Rodri and Gundogan, amazing. There are some real, you look at Jorginho and Kante, Kosovic as well in there. Some real great pairings and partnerships in the Premier League.
I noticed you haven't mentioned Manchester United.
Well, because we're going to talk about Fred in just a moment. We're going to talk about Fred in just a moment.
Which Fred? Fred who plays for Man United?
Yeah, as opposed to which other Fred?
Well, there's loads of Freds.
Go on.
Fred Truman.
Are you suggesting United should buy Fred Truman?
My granddad was called Fred.
Yes, but I don't think we'll be talking about your granddad Fred as a great midfielder in the Premier League.
You're right. Listen, central midfielders. It's such an important position now for many clubs. You've just made some good one there. Ndidi and Tielemans at Leicester, fantastic. Souček and Rice at West Ham, are two that probably deserve a huge mention. But it's hard when you look at the sides and try and pick who is actually the best two. Not an easy one at all. Because with Chelsea and Kante and Jorginho, right? I know Aid's a massive fan of Jorginho. I mean, he said something yesterday, didn't he, which really shocked a few listeners when he said he's potentially a Ballon d'Or winner.
About who? Who did you say that about?
Jorginho. I'm not sure about that, just because his team won at the Euros. But you either love him or not. I mean, we had Chelsea fans on here saying he just passes sideways. It slows everything down. But I think those two together are pretty good. You look at Decore and Allen at Everton, if they're both fit, they could be outstanding this season. We'll have to wait and see. But if I could pick who I think is the actual best, it's very, very difficult decision. Would I be silly if I said Henderson and Fabinho?
No, you wouldn't be silly.
A lot of people will probably say I'm silly.
I don't think they would say. I don't think you can have a midfield partnership that's won the Premier League and the Champions League.
The reason I say that is the only thing that stops me saying that at this moment in time, Henderson was brilliant at the weekend, but last year he missed so much football, so I can't really go on present.
Oh, I think you can. You can stick him in there in that conversation.
Yeah, but I think that's the only thing that stopped me. But Souček and Rice last year I thought were magnificent.
Yeah, they were.
They were out of this world.
I like the way what Rodri has done since he's come in and replaced Fernandinho. I think he's been a revelation. I think he's been great. And talking about Man United, I love Scott McTominay. I think he's great. And when United played Leeds on the opening day, it was him and Fred. But
they need one with him. You could have even put Matic in there. You still wouldn't have him down as the best five central midfield. And that's Man United we're talking.
No, but I think with McTominay, you look at the two of them, you think he's playing two holders. But with McTominay, he allows him to go forward a bit. So you do need someone to sit. I'm not a big fan of Fred. I've never been a big fan of his. I know that United have been linked to Ruben Neves over the last couple of days. I think he'd be a fantastic addition to Manchester United. I just wonder, we were talking about this in the meeting, someone like I'm not trying to sell Declan Rice. I love Declan Rice.
No, yeah, you want him to go to Manchester United. Just be honest about it. There's no point trying to, you know what I mean?
Here's a question for you. If United...
You'd love him at Man United,
wouldn't you? Of course I would. I think he's a phenomenal player.
He said it.
But if United did buy Declan Rice, would that turn them into a potential...
Well, it makes them better.
Yeah, how much better percentage?
Well, it's always going to be, does it make you better? It's like saying, if Manchester City buy Harry Kane, does it make them better?
Of course it does.
Of course it does, yeah. So it gives them a better chance of winning more competition.
But Man City now, without Harry Kane, are probably, they're up there to win the Premier League.
As Lukaku going to Chelsea made them better.
Without a doubt.
Declan Rice goes to any one of those top four sides, it'd be a nightmare for West Ham. And what I'm saying about him getting in the top four or top six realistically. But it makes whoever he goes to better.
Yes, but does it turn United from where they are now into a potential championship winning side? Does Declan Rice do that?
We'll talk about that later, but it still comes out of the manager, doesn't it? It's whether he can get the best out of the players. But when you've got good players like that, surely you don't have to have that much to manage that.
Well, I think that if you've got great players in the team, although then it does come on. We'll talk about Solskjaer.
It comes down to man management rather than
selection.
Yes,
selection. The Greenwood out wide and Sancho on the bench. I still can't understand that. So who would you say has got the best pairing then? Best two midfielders in the Premier League? I notice you've not mentioned Arsenal with Xhaka and Partey.
No,
understandably.
I'm stuck between the Henderson and Fabinho.
All right. So Villa have got two, Douglas Luiz and John McGinn. I'm a big fan of John McGinn. I think he's a great player.
No, I'm not putting them in it.
No, I'm not putting them in it, but I think they're a great pairing.
I do think Kante and Jorginho are hard to beat as well.
Kante and Jorginho, yeah, I'd agree with that. You like
what they offer.
You like Tielemans and
ball
Ndidi,
possession, breaking up play, passing, set pieces for Jorginho. I mean, it's a pretty good partnership, and I know he has the criticism with Jorginho, but I still think that's a fantastic partnership.
Would you like to see more teams move away from the two holders and play like old school 4-4-2?
Well, no, because it works. Chelsea won the Champions League.
I know, but Leicester won the Premier League with a 4-4-2, didn't they? Or 4-4-1-1, you could argue.
Yeah. Difficult one, isn't it? And when you're... it's difficult. A lot of them play three, but two of them sit deeper, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way they get around that.
So who are you going for? Who are your two favourite midfielders in the Premier League?
I'm going Henderson and Fabinho.
Are you?
Yeah, I really am.
Okay. I'm going Scott McTominay and Fred. You can have your say. I'd love to. I'll tell you, I'll go Scott McTominay and Declan Rice. That's going to happen. I know Declan listens to the show. Just sign on the line, Dec. You can have your say on National Radio 08717223344. We've not even mentioned Leeds with Calvin Phillips and Klitsch as well. I like Calvin. You don't like Calvin Phillips?
Of course I like Calvin Phillips.
How much would he go for? Write it down. Calvin Phillips, tomorrow is sold. Write it down.
60.
Well, okay. I like the way you didn't write it down. I've written 65. That's cheap, isn't it? That's cheap for Calvin Phillips. Let me ask the Crash. 65 million for Calvin Phillips? Is that good? No. They're up higher.
You reckon
65 million? Oh,
wow.
I see you meant the amount. 75? 75 they're saying. It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. It could easily. It depends how much someone wants him, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know West Ham fans absolutely adore Souček and Rice. Lots to talk about. One to dial, the best midfielders in the Premier League. 08717223344. We're only doing it for 10 minutes, then we move on. So if you want to have your say on National Radio, don't hang around. Pick up the phone now. It's Drive on talkSPORT with me, Andy Goldstein, and Darren Gough with WeBuyAndyCar.com. Buying without part exchanging could get you a bigger discount, on your next car.